Belief or unbelief. Romans 11 verses 17 to 20 tells us that the children of Israel were the original olive branches, but they were cut off because of their unbelief. We were grafted in because of their unbelief and our faith, but God warns us to be careful. The wild olive branches can also be cut off because of unbelief. If you are a believer but stop trusting God, where does that put you? If you do not believe, you cannot abide in the vine. Remember, I am not talking about being saved and going to heaven but rather abiding in the Spirit. When you are in the vine, you produce godly fruit. If you are not in the vine, it is because of unbelief, which is sin. You believed God was trustworthy to forgive you and cleanse you from all unrighteousness at salvation. He removed the curse to deliver you from hell, and He is equally trustworthy in every other area. When you do not believe God, you believe He is trustworthy only part of the time. Most believers trust God in a few areas, but they do not trust Him completely. When God allows tragedies and atrocities without intervening, do you believe He is evil? When He extends blessings, do you believe He is good? In doing this, you judge the one true God. You then accumulate files against God about why you will not trust Him with all of your heart. There are serious consequences for questioning God's faithfulness. This is exactly what the serpent did to Eve, Genesis 3 verse 5. He questioned God's reason for saying they could not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The enemy suggested God had a wrong motive for his command. Eve believed Satan rather than God. How often are you guilty of the same sin? How many of you have thought, Eve is responsible for our sin? If you had been Eve, would you have done the same thing? If you had been Adam, would you have followed your wife into deception? I have news for you, Adam and Eve are still around and they are looking at you from the mirror. In the old nature, you do exactly what Eve and Adam did. You question God and decide whether or not He is trustworthy enough to be obeyed.